StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
May I come in?
Akshat Kumar Singh.
Yes, sir.
I was just looking at your hobbies. Very interesting. Music and trekking. Yes?
Yes, sir.
How regularly you are able to devote time to these?
Sir, usually I make sure that in a day, at least before sleeping, I usually play my guitar, because guitar is something I can play anytime whenever I want. And it also helps me unwind after a long tiring day, and also helps me limit my screen time, because usually before my hobby I was keen of using my mobile phone before sleeping. So that this is one of the things I adopted, which also helps me enrich my hobby as well as limit my screen time. And as for trekking, sir, trekking is something which I'm not usually able to do very regularly, but I make sure I go on a trek in 4 or 5 months at least, as and when my schedule regards for.
Which is the one trek that you remember the most?
Sir, I went for Kalindi Khal trek, which was in 2017. Sir, it is considered one of the toughest treks of India, and it was a 150 kilometers long trek, and it took us 15 days to complete the trek. Unfortunately, we were not able to complete the last leg of our trek, and we were only able to reach the Kalindi base, which was just 5,700 meters, and we were to cross the Kalindi Khal, the actual pass.
Do you depend on some professional help to undertake these treks, or just a couple of friends get together and go?
No, sir. The treks which I went on were organized by Himalayan Explorers Club, which was a student group in IIT Roorkee. Sir, usually on very moderate or easy treks, we don't rely on professional help. But on treks which are moderately...
Which is the one that you did without any help?
Sir, the Kheer Ganga trek we did without any help, mainly because we had some seniors which had went to the Kheer Ganga trek earlier, and it had a very commercialized track, I would say. And so it had a path which was well defined, and we could complete it. And it also
How many kilometers?
Sir, it was around 12 kilometers only.
12 only?
Yes, sir.
You would have done the same day?
Yeah, no, sir, we didn't do it in the same day. Sir, basically it involved achievement of a large amount of height. So we couldn't complete in the same day. It is usually completed in 2 days.
From your music, I just thought of asking you, what is indie music?
Sir, indie music, the term indie basically signifies that the music is not backed by a commercial thing, and it is mainly a local artist or a freelancer who usually performs these music, the indie music.
From India?
No, sir, it is not. It is not necessarily from India. It can be from any part of the world.
And what does that person do? I mean, cuts out some albums or something?
Yes, sir, that person can cut out some albums as well, and he can also commercially produce music. However, it is not backed by a proper organization.
Can you name some popular Indian guy in this genre?
Sir, Lucky Ali is one of the famous indie artists of our time, especially from my childhood, because I was very keen of listening to his music.
Would you put Palas also in this category? Dr. Palas?
Palash Sen can be considered an indie artist, but however, he later on ventured into various Bollywood music, and his music can be said that it was commercialized to an extent. So it is debated that whether he'll be an indie artist or not.
You are from Delhi. Are you a registered voter?
Yes, sir, I am a registered voter.
Did you get a chance to vote during this MCD elections?
Yes, sir, I did vote.
You did?
Yes, sir.
How happy or unhappy you are with the affairs of MCD? Ongoing affairs?
Sir, I feel that the affairs which MCD is going through needs to be resolved. Mainly because MCD, since the trifurcation of the MCD
when you say needs to be resolved, what?
Sir, we need to bring some stability in the MCD. Sir, earlier when it was trifurcated, it led to some stability. However, that stability was led to unequal distribution between the 3 MCDs.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, that's a long-term thing.
Yes,
but I am talking of something immediate. That is holding of mayoral election.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are aware of that?
Yes, sir, I am aware of that.
You think MCD is now ready for the next date?
Yes, sir, as has also been said by the Supreme Court that they need to declare a date within 24 hours.
What is your take? They will be able to do it?
Yes, sir, with the resolving of the issue of the nominated members, whether they will be allowed to vote or not. I feel that
Which members?
Sir, it was debated that whether the nominated members of the MCD will be voting in the mayoral elections or not. The LG and the municipal commissioner said that they can vote. However, the political parties were saying that they cannot vote. So
what is the situation now?
Sir, Supreme Court said that nominated members cannot vote in the MCD mayoral elections.
Who said that?
The Supreme Court.
Supreme Court said it clearly?
Yes, sir. As far as I can recall, Supreme Court did say that the nominated members.
What are these called? These nominated members, what are they called? Just nominated members?
I'm sorry, sir. There is some specific term which I'm not able to recall right now.
How many are these?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall right now.
Okay, never mind. That's not very important. What is your take on hijab?
Sir, I feel that hijab, as we know, hijab is a piece of cloth which was worn by various women in various religions. Especially in the today's context, it is famous with the Islamic religion. Sir, I feel that wearing of hijab should be the choice of the woman, and the woman should be able to use her agency.
Irrespective of whether a particular institution where she is studying or working, if they insist on not wearing a hijab, irrespective of that?
No, sir. It depends on the rules of the institution in which the girl is enrolled.
No, but the whole controversy arose because certain institute said that they should wear. So would you accept that kind of diktat from an educational institute?
Sir, the rules and regulations are made by educational institutes to further the objective of equality.
No. What is your take? Would you support that institute, or would you still insist as you started that it should be women's choice?
Sir, I feel that the end objective of any institute should be imparting of education, as was the case.
Yes or no?
Sir, I would say that to impart education, if banning hijab in such institutions discourages the girl child to enter the institution, then I feel that the institution should allow it.
No, but you think it can discourage? It can hinder in any way her taking education seriously?
Yes, sir. I believe that it can hamper, because if a person is very religious, then he or she has the right to decide.
If you were to decide in place of the Supreme Court, I hope you know the matter is pending.
Yes, sir.
If you were to decide, then what would you say? Tell me in one sentence. No ifs, buts. What would be your decision?
Sir, my decision would be to, in regards of furthering the objective of imparting education. Hence, I would like to say that the institution can allow some flexibilities in this regard if it is possible.
Okay, my last question to you. I have taken more time than expected, but it's important. I understand that you already joined IPS?
Yes, sir. I have joined IPS, but I am on extraordinary leave from the academy right now.
You've been there for how long?
Sir, around a week.
Around a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm asking you a very obvious question, but I thought you would probably add some emotions to it because now you are an IPS officer. And that is, are police reforms really necessary? Or the top management of the police organization in any state can be, it can be left to them and they can turn out a highly professional police organization, reforms or no reforms. What is your take?
Sir, my take is a leader in any institution or any organization can definitely take that organization to a different vision as per his or her regards. Yes, I think that our top officials are capable enough to bring out a very good result, and which they are doing so despite the structural challenges which they are posed. However, to resolve these structural challenges, we need to bring in police reforms, mainly to bring in accountability, objectivity, as well as to ensure that we use our resources effectively and not in a wasteful manner.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Akshat, when will you join the training?
Sir, currently I am on extraordinary leave from the academy, and I am supposed to join the training with the next batch, the 76th RR.
Okay, good. There was an earthquake in Turkey, 7.8 Richter scale.
Yes, sir.
What is Richter?
Sir, the Richter scale is used to measure the intensity of the earthquake.
Why this Richter? Where this name come from?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall right now.
There was some allegation by the Turkey government that it has been caused deliberately by US. Is it possible? You are a civil engineer also. Is it possible?
Yes, sir. Various earthquakes are caused by man-made activities or human activities. For example, sir, if we construct a dam, and if there are certain irregularities in the construction of dam, then it can lead to massive earthquake.
With such a high magnitude?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of the situation. However, I feel that such things can be brought by human activities. Although I do not believe that US must have done that.
You are a civil engineer. How will you resolve the conflict with your workers in the civil engineering department? What methods will you adopt?
Sir, mainly I feel based on my experience, the various issues which occur during various civil engineering projects, especially with the workers, are mainly related to the lack of communication. Sir, mainly because the workers are usually not very well versed regarding the technical terms and knowledges, while the civil engineer usually uses these technical knowledges. So I feel that in this regard, sir, there can be a proper meeting where all the stakeholders, with the workers, the contractors, as well as the engineers and even top officials can come, and the issues which the workers have, for example, regarding the use of technical knowledge or technical terms, these can be resolved, and the orders can be imparted in a very simplified manner, so that the laborers and the workers are able to understand them, and these issues do not arrive.
The Engineering College of Roorkee was basically primarily famous for which stream?
Sir, the University of Roorkee, which I came from, which was erstwhile University of Roorkee, it was mainly famous for civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
One of the professor of civil engineering from that institute, he became the first chairman of AICT. Do you know it?
Sir, I am aware of it, but I am not able to recall his name right now.
He is Professor S.K. Khanna.
Yes, sir.
He is from that is important people.
Yes, sir.
Though they may not be asked, but you can remember they are the
Definitely,
assets of your institute. Do you know something about black hole? What is a black hole? Can you throw some light on it?
Sir, if you are talking about the cosmic term black hole, sir, black hole is a celestial body which which develops when a star uses up its fuel, and it crumbles down into its own gravity. And the black hole basically, sir, is called black hole because no light can escape. The gravity is so high.
Okay. My last question to you. L&T has signed a MOU with one state to open an IT park. Which state is that, and how much money they are going to invest in it? Are you aware of it?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not
This is
aware of
Gujarat
this.
state in Vadodara.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I will definitely read upon
And
it.
7,000 crores rupees they are going to invest. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, you are an IPS officer
Yes, sir.
and you have taken sociology. There are certain sociological trends as a Delhi person, as an IPS officer, relating to women's area. What are those areas, 2-3 problems or concerns, sociological concerns you find?
Sir, can I clarify that? Are you asking the sociological concerns in police force?
No, sociological conditions of women in Delhi.
In Delhi.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
which is disturbing you as a citizen, as a resident of Delhi, as a sociological student, as an IPS officer.
Sir, the condition of women in Delhi is mainly degraded by the patriarchal mindset, which I feel affects them very much. For example, sir, I am an avid driver. I usually drive my scooter or my car. Sir, I often see that whenever if there a crash happens, sir, and if a woman is involved, the driver, then sir, invariably it is blamed that the woman must be at fault. Even if the police forces come, and then also they try to compromise the issue that, ma'am, you might be at fault. So I feel this, I found this issue very disturbing, mainly because it highlights that it gives an biological advantage to the men, which is not basically biological, it is a sociological construct, and it gives them an advantage which should not be there and in an equitable society. Second, sir, I also feel that women in Delhi are mainly do not consider themselves very safe, mainly in night or during deserted areas. Sir, because there have been various incidents in the past as well. Also, the recent incident where a girl was dragged under a car, and which led to her untimely death. So, sir, these are the issues I feel sociologically which concern me a lot.
Criminal justice system in Delhi. What are the issues and challenges you find, and what are your suggestions for improvement?
So the main challenge, which was also highlighted by various commissions, was the separation of law and order and the investigative wing. Delhi police took out a pilot project to separate these mainly in 30 police stations. However, it is still not applied in all the regions, in all the police stations. So, sir, this is one issue. Also, sir, the police in Delhi is mainly constable heavy. Which leads to, sir, mainly because constable is the lowest level of recruitment in police, and around more than 80% of Delhi police also comprises of constables. So this leads to bearing of extreme load on the constables, which are not very highly skilled and are often the face of the police. Also, Delhi police has to invariably provide the VIP protection, and more than 25% of the Delhi police force is used in this regard, which often leads to, which is also considered inadequate in today's times. Also, it leads to divertification of resources, which often leads to the not achieving the objectives of the Delhi police.
How technology can improve investigation of police and increase conviction rate?
Sir, technology can be used in various regards. Mainly, sir, the forensic technology can be the most important tool which can be used in these investigative processes. Sir, our forensic labs are still not very well prepared to record the evidences and record the biological evidences which are found on the crime case. Second, sir, I also feel that use of CCTV as well as CCTV in various areas can be used if it is applied variably, because it will lead to bringing out of evidences as well as various facts which are often not found because there are no CCTV or no witnesses in the area.
What are the challenges you find online registration of FIR?
Sir, online registration of FIR is a very good step. However, it faces various challenges, sir, mainly because many people are not very well versed with the use of internet, and also the use of internet is mainly considered to be a very upper middle class or middle class activity. A worker who is not very well versed with the internet or cannot use the internet in, suppose, Hindi or English language, or if he is illiterate, he will not be able to easily register an FIR, which should be his or her right if he faces a crime.
Last question, as a district magistrate, suppose you are posted in Nagaland or Manipur, bordering Myanmar. What are the issues and challenges you will flag, and what would be your plan of action?
Sir, in any border state, the main challenge which the state faces is usually of the migration of immigrants from the other side. Sir, in Nagaland, there is already a migration of people from Myanmar, mainly because of the Rohingya issue there. So, sir, my main solution for this would be to classify and mark the people who are not the citizens of India, and try to help them in the regard that they are deported back to their country in a humane way, or if they are not, then a proper trial is considered here, and if they are in a, suppose, large number, then I can also flag it upwards towards the highest level, so that we can either incorporate them somehow in our society or deport them back. Also, sir, in Nagaland, there can be an issue of lack of development, economic development, mainly because it is a border state, and the focus is mainly on security. So, sir, I would like to develop the economic situation there through infrastructure development, which will also provide jobs, and also skilling of the labor and youth, because that will lead to a peaceful situation as well as the economic development of the region.
Okay. So,
okay, Mr. Akshat, what does Akshat mean?
Sir, the name Akshat is derived from two words, the prefix a and the core word shat. The shat means to injure or to harm. So the whole word means someone who can't be harmed or injured.
Okay, hijab controversy we were talking about. So what was the High Court decision, and what happened in the Supreme Court then?
Sir, the High Court, as far as I can recall, said that an institution can provide rules for its uniform, and it did not allow girls who were trying to petition to wear hijab in the institution.
Okay, then it came to the Supreme Court. What happened in the Supreme Court?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact, I
1:1
can't recall the
verdict.
exact situation.
1:1.
Okay, sir.
2 judges were there.
Okay, sir, I will
Now
definitely.
it has to be heard by 3 judges bench. Anyway, so now you tell me whether at all the judicial majoritarianism justified you understand the meaning of judicial majoritarianism? So
Hmm.
first of all, you tell me, what do you mean by judicial majoritarianism, and whether at all it is justified? Please go ahead.
Sir, in my limited understanding, the judicial, sir, I'm not exactly aware of the situation of the term. If you allow me, I would like to deduce the meaning.
Okay, yeah, and that might be correct, whatever you tell me. Anyway, you tell me.
Sir, I feel judicial majoritarianism means that the decision which is taken by the majority of
That's
judges.
right. So that is the judicial majoritarianism.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So what is the provision in the Constitution, number one, in which article there is a provision of this, that if there is any matter related to the Constitution that will heard by the Constitutional Bench. So what exactly is the provision, under which article is the provision related with this, that it will be heard by 5 judges bench, 7 judges bench, like that?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact
Anyway,
articles.
no problem. So which are the challenges which our economy is facing and likely to face?
Sir, the main challenge which are Indian.
Just bullet point.
So one is the structural, the structure of Indian economy. Sir, mainly our Indian economy transitioned from agriculture to the service sector, and we lack in the secondary sector, which is manufacturing and industries. Second, sir, also I feel that skilling is a major problem in our Indian economy, mainly because we still provide skills which may not be required in the near future, mainly with the advent of information technology and artificial intelligence. Also, sir, I feel there are various bottlenecks in our Indian economy which still needs to be reformed. Mainly, for example, our infrastructure is not adequate for scaling our economy to a large extent.
Mhm.
So these are the challenges.
Okay, could it be rupee depreciation? Could it be one of the challenges?
Sir, I feel rupee depreciation can pose a challenge. However, in its own term, I don't think it is a challenge for our Indian economy.
Okay, pent-up demand is decreasing. Could it be a challenge in our Indian economy? Pent-up demand. You know pent-up demand?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm
Okay.
not.
And related with Ukraine-Russia war, could that be the
Yes, sir.
challenge?
Ukraine-Russia war can be a challenge because mainly it will lead to disruption of the supply chains and can lead to inflation of various essential commodities which our country might need.
Okay, what type of monsoon will be there? Could it be the challenge?
Yes, sir. Monsoon, if not adequate, can lead to
So
challenge.
now you analyze the situation related with monsoon, keeping in view the El Nino and La Nina. Have you ever heard these terms?
Yes, sir.
El Nino and La Nina. So what type of monsoon do we expect this?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not aware.
Okay, no problem. Civil engineering.
Yes.
You might have heard or you might have seen the signature bridge in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So why do we call it signature bridge?
Sir, the bridge is called the signature bridge mainly because it has a signature design. It is not symmetrical like usually the bridges are, but it has a crooked design. If I'm allowed to say that. So it is an asymmetrical design. That's why it's called.
Yeah, asymmetric cable stayed bridge.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason. Anyway, you were right, whatever you said. Okay, so related with that budget. So can I say that this is a suitable mix of fiscal consolidation, growth and inclusion? If you agree with this, then you tell me how this is a mix of these three: fiscal consolidation, growth and inclusion.
Yes, sir. I would like to agree that our budget this time was a mix of all these things, mainly because it balances.
2 to 3 sentence related with each: fiscal consolidation, growth and inclusion.
Sir, if I start with inclusion, our budget focuses on agriculture and agricultural's capital development. Also, it focuses on reaching the last mile, which is one of the Saptarishi priorities, which focuses on the various vulnerable sections, for example, the tribals and other sections. Sir, regarding growth, yes, as our budget focuses on the infrastructure development, which is a very necessary need for growth, it will definitely work on that. Also, it focuses on the financial, providing the finances to various MSMEs and various sectors, and which is very necessary need for the growth. Also, sir, regarding fiscal consolidation, yes, there is rationalization of various sectors. So this will lead to fiscal consolidation.
Okay, sedition law when introduced?
So sedition.
Just one line, not more than that. Few words.
So sedition law was introduced in the Indian Penal Code 1860. It was not originally there, it was later introduced by the British.
So they don't find place in Indian constitution.
Sir, in the Indian constitution specifically, sedition law is not written.
Anyway, sedition law were introduced in 1870 And Indian Penal Code, when it came into force?
Sir, the Indian Penal Code was formed in 1860.
1860, and 30 years later, that particular A was added in 124th section of IPC. 30 years later, it means 1890.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, through which constitutional amendment the restrictions were imposed on right to freedom of speech and expression? Anyway, under which articles these are? Freedom of speech and expression?
Sir, freedom of speech and expression are under Article 19.
19, 1,
19
1 and A.
A.
Okay. Then through which constitutional amendment the reasonable restrictions were imposed on right to freedom of speech and expression?
Sir, I should be aware of it, but I'm sorry, I'm not aware
First
of it.
constitutional amendment,
Okay,
which
sir.
inter alia included this also. Now, last question. Can charge sheet filed by the investigating agencies be made public?
So, charge sheet is a document which is filed by the police or the investigation agency to the judiciary, to the court which is examining the case. Sir, as far as I can recall,
Just one sentence. Can it be made public? What did Supreme Court say related with that? Supreme Court has said something related with this. So, can it be made public? Just one line, few words answer. Yes, no.
sir, as far as my reasonable understanding, I think that Supreme Court showed its
No.
apprehensions regarding
No.
publication
Anyway,
of the charge
there is
sheet.
no. Thank you.
Akshat,
Yes, sir.
recently Supreme Court said that appointment through collegium system could not be reviewed under judicial review system. What is your take? Is this really a good step?
Sir, our Indian judiciary considers the independence of judiciary under the basic structure of the constitution. Hence, it also includes the collegium system and the recruitment of judges under the basic structure of the constitution. Sir, I feel that independence of judiciary is very necessary because it forms the core feature, one of the core features of our constitution. However, there are various apprehensions regarding the collegium system, mainly being that it is not as transparent as it should be. And it also leads to various allegations that there are nepotism in our Indian judiciary. Hence, I feel that collegium system provides and achieves the objectives of independence of judiciary. However, these apprehensions should be taken care of either by reforming the collegium system or forming a new system where the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature can take part in the recruitment of judges.
What do you understand by separation of powers?
So, separation of powers is a principle which mainly says that the different arms of the government should have separation between powers so that they can put checks and balance on each other, and there is no dictatorship or no overdue influence of one arm over other.
This is said that no any country could follow this separation of powers in very rigid manner.
Sir, I believe yes, that separation of power in theory might be possible. However, in reality, it is not as practical, mainly because, sir, the executive is the executing arm of the government, and the executive is bound to have various overlaps with the other functions of the various arms of the government. So, sir, I feel that the constitution, the separation of power which our constitution feels, which is mainly broad and which includes overlapping jurisdictions.
Would you like to give some examples of exceptions in India?
Yes, sir. The Supreme Court under Article 131 can take any order which it requires to fulfill its objective. So it can also lead to formation of various guidelines as well as the taking under its own arm the executive action. For example, sir, the Supreme Court took the case of Delhi pollution, and it led to formation of a graded action plan, which was mainly which should have been an executive action. However, it was done by the Supreme Court.
Any other example?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall any example right now.
Recently, a Vibrant Village program has been passed by Cabinet.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about this? What is the objective of this program?
Sir, the main objective of the Vibrant Village program is to develop economically the villages across the borders which India borders with China. Sir, the main objective is economic development and infrastructural development. However, it also has a strategic note, mainly because India faces various challenges on the Indo-China border, and especially with the background that China is also developing its border areas. So, sir, it takes a strategic role mainly to provide the better opportunities to the people as well as to provide a better avenue for the security forces to guard its borders.
Many times we are listening and seeing that there is a conflict between CM of Delhi and LG of Delhi. What is the main cause behind this conflict?
Sir, Delhi is a union territory and not a state. So, sir, in a state, the CM is the head of the government. However, in Delhi, the head of government is considered to be LG, the Lieutenant Governor, and the CM is only head of the Council of Ministers. So, sir, however, the executive decisions are taken by the CM, they are to be taken in the name of the LG. And regarding the recent amendment to the Act, Delhi Act in 2019, it clarifies that any action is to be taken by the LG and in the name of LG, and any LG can also lead to taking under its own arm any action of executive. So, sir, this mainly creates various conflicts and challenges between these two, where the CM, for suppose taking any executive action, can be verified or checked by the LG and cannot be taken until it is in cognizance of the LG.
Many media reports suggest that Delhi is not safe for women now. Are you agree with this?
Sir, I feel a city like Delhi, which has such a large population, is bound to have a high crime rate. However, I also agree that in our Delhi, women might not feel safe, mainly because there are various gaps in our application of various laws, as well as in the infrastructural development as well. For example, sir, even today, I feel that in various stretches of our city, there are no street lights, or at least appropriate street lights. Also, the lack of CCTV in our city is one of the major issues why women face not safe in Delhi.
If you have an opportunity to counter this problem, what would you suggest? What would you do?
Sir, as I just stated out the problem, one of the major solutions would be to install street lights in every nook and corner of our city. Sir, as we know, it is often said that street lights are the best policemen, mainly because it brings accountability to the actions of people. In dark, people can do anything, and people might expect to not face its accountability. However, with street lights, women will feel safe, and also there might be a decrease in crime. Also, sir, as I said, CCTV implementation should be there, at least in crowded areas and in areas where it can be installed feasibly. Also, sir, I would like to improve the women wing in the Delhi police. The Delhi police is already doing good in making women feel safe in police station. With also the coming up of various women-only police station. As far as I remember, they are called pink booths. So, sir, this thing can be done more proactively so that women don't feel apprehensions while coming to the police station to file any crime.
Okay.
Akshat,
Yes, sir.
very good to have met you.
Thank you, sir.
And we meet again after a few minutes. We'll have to wait outside.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Would you like to share how you feel about this mock exercise?
Sir, this was my first walk in this interview preparation this time. So, sir, I feel that I think I answered them fairly well, but there were various areas where I need to work, mainly the knowledge areas which, sir, you asked. I was not able to answer them, I think, satisfactorily. Also, sir, I think I could have answered some answers more comprehensively. For example, the answers on security of women, I should have gone on also other aspects. Also, sir, I feel I repeated the words at times, so I could have avoided them.
What was the kind of score the marks you were given the last time when you were selected?
Sir, I got 176 marks.
176?
Yes, sir.
What do you think, how good it is, 176?
Sir, it's still 30 marks less than 206, which was the highest marks, but I feel it is average or above average.
Anything that you would like to improve in your final stage performance there?
Yes, sir, my knowledge aspect, which I think is still lacking.
Anything else?
Sir, maybe the repetition of words and more fluency in my speaking.
Suppose I ask you, how is the Josh?
Sir, yes, Josh was high. I think I can see that.
Or it was very high?
Yes, sir, it could also be.
Okay, now to the crux of the feedback. I mean, you know very well, and we all recognize and compliment you. You are smart, you are energetic, your body language is perfect, you are engaging, very engaging. You have updated content on most of the issues. Your good arguments, but like as you said, whether on women's security or on hijab or not you take a stand first that a woman's choice, it's a piece of cloth. Very good expression you used. This is what the petitioners have used, respondents have used. So, and then you go back, you are not, when you are asked to decide, as a police officer, you are supposed to decide things on the spot. So you took a lot of time and still didn't, I mean, you were trying, you were happy contradicting yourself, but not staying where you started. Now, you have all these brilliant qualities. Couple of things which may help you. Now, you are already stalwart in the sense that you have faced UPSC, you have scored well, and one thing that was missing is that kind of you miss addressing other members when you are, now you are like, you know, focused towards me. Yeah, now I like you look. So that is, it should be.
Okay,
When
sir.
you start answering, not when you are listening to a particular member, not during that this thing, but in between, just look around. A gentle, respectful glance to other members. Kind of keep them in your. You also onto a little expression wise, physical expression wise. I'll come little later. In between, more important thing is that you tend to get very longish in your answers. Verbose is the expression used by one of our members here. That you just let it go. I mean, so many occasions with so many members, I wanted to tell you, stop. So there should be no occasion, any members to get that feeling, and that only you can check yourself. Thumb rule is that, you know, you give an answer in 3-4 sentences and stop it. You know, what happens normally, it's a human tendency that if you know something is close to your heart, so one, you know, tends to add more. So you retain that material. If there is a supplementary coming your way, you can answer it. Otherwise, you can, I mean, forget about it. So, lamba nahi jana hai. You were using some of the expressions which preferably should be avoided. And I made a note of these. I am aware, but I am not able to recall. भाई हम क्या करें, अगर आप aware हैं और recall नहीं कर रहे हैं तो हम तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. And this is no way. It is called Indianism in English. This is no way of saying, sir, sorry, I do not know. Sorry, sir, I cannot recall. And I know, I am aware, इसके नंबर नहीं मिलते हैं, बल्कि इससे नंबर थोड़े से तिरछे हो जाते हैं. दूसरा एक्सप्रेशन था आपका, मेंबर ने कुछ पूछा आपसे, जैसे ब्लैक होल का पूछा, you said if you are talking of so and so, है ना? No, this is not the right expression. If you have doubt on the question, then say कि sir, I have understood by your question that this is what I have understood. Is that all right, sir? Instead of saying if you are talking of this, no, it's informal, it's not done. You also use expression like you used it a couple of times, in my limited understanding. Whether limited or not, your understanding what is today is more important, and members know. So you don't have to pre-qualify it. I mean, avoidable expressions. We are trying to help you to give the perfect possible presentation so that you don't have to, you know, come here again or come to UPSC more than twice. आप कोई इस पे कोई इंटरव्यू कैसे दिया जाए, इस पे कोई बुक्स या वीडियोस वगैरह देखे हैं आपने?
Sir, some guidance videos from earlier toppers.
पब्लिक स्पीकिंग टाइप के या ऐसे कुछ?
No, sir, not in particular. Not in particular.
क्या हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा एक इम्प्रेशन, एक तो लॉन्गिश हो गया, वो तो बात खत्म हो गई, and you understood it.
Yes, sir.
Second area of improvement is, I mean, avoid those kind of pre-qualification thing, like, but ये है कि, you know, you give body language wise, you give a impression of being informal. After your entry and initial few questions, then you start getting informal, and then you stay informal most of the time. Your eyes, your neck movements, and they are too conspicuous. ठीक है, तो उनको थोड़ा सा नॉडिंग इंडियंस की बहुत हैबिट है ना, हर बात पे नोट करते रहेंगे.
Yes, sir.
है ना, हाँ भी करेंगे तो भी नोट कर रहे हैं, नो करेंगे तो भी. तो दीज आर पार्ट ऑफ अवर तो इसको थोड़ा कंट्रोल करना है. मतलब वहाँ पे देखिए, सब वहाँ आपने तो देखा ही हुआ है ना, सब सीनियर लोग वहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, और आपके मुकाबले वो 2 पीढ़ियाँ पीछे हैं वो लोग. तो उनकी सोच, उनकी कल्चरल परसेप्शंस थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट है. तो इट्स अ क्लेवर वे ऑफ handling that crowd, that assembly of senior people. How you handle them, it would depend upon you. तो आपके जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज है उसमें एक रिस्पेक्टफुल और वो रहना चाहिए. नाउ डोंट मिसअंडरस्टैंड दैट यू वर एनीवेयर नॉट रिस्पेक्टफुल. नो, नेवर, not once even. But because of these extra bodily gestures and movements, thoda sa control. Otherwise you are brilliant, and we put you straight away close to 200. So you can work on these. I don't think one should go in, I mean, your choice, but one should not go for too many mock interviews. You have seen the actual battlefield. Ek mock interview ho gaya, maybe you can take couple of more if at all. But reading a lot, and not only reading a lot, generating questions and answers, and try and conclude every answer in some in a decisive way, that this is the stand I take. ठीक है, हिजाब की बात नहीं है, कोई भी इशू है उस पर एक स्टैंड लेना है, छोटा सा स्टैंड लेना है, but it should leave open. एक जगह आपने you were answering him on some issue, patriarchy, when he asked you about the sociology and the women safety. And
Yes, sir.
so like your first sentence was kind of very conclusive, and the mainly it is the patriarchal तो पहला सेंटेंस कभी भी कंक्लूसिव साउंड नहीं करना चाहिए, है ना. यू शुड, ओपनिंग सेंटेंस शुड ओपन अप पॉसिबिलिटीज. यू कुड से दैट पेट्रियार्की इज वन इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर. तो नो एब्सोल्यूट, इनफैक्ट वो पूरे आंसर में कोई एब्सोल्यूट होना ही नहीं चाहिए, और बिगिनिंग में तो बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए.
Okay, sir. I'll keep note of that.
So all the very best to you.
Thank you, sir.
All the very best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
All
sir.
the best.
All the best.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.